Guys, welcome back to my channel. So today I'm talking about Brother Polight and all of the shenanigans he got going on the internet. He done broke the internet once again. Everybody want to talk about it. At first, I wasn't gonna talk about it, but hey, why not? Cause it's some stuff about this situation that I'm just like what? Okay, so let's get into it. Before I get started, I want to say that I first heard this story on One with Tasha K. Now I wasn't watching it, but like I feel like she's the first person that kind of broke the story. So before I get into it, I'm just giving her credit because this is where I heard the story from initially. Okay, so this is Brother Polight, and this is the one of his, I guess you can say, ex. I don't even know if you can call them wives because in America polygamy is illegal. So I think they have like contractual agreements that they're going to be together. It's not necessarily officially a wife um, as far as marriage in the states go, the legal way, I guess you can say. But I mean, that's cool. Like that's cool having a partnership that way. To me, not with all these different women, but with just one person or whatever. But yeah. So this is the allegedly this is the woman whose daughter that all of this stuff took place with. So basically, they saying that a 14-year-old girl was taken to. They saying that allegedly Brother Polight took a 14-year-old girl to an after party, and I mean you can see it on the screen for yourself, but the basics of it is that Brother Polight allegedly took a 14-year-old girl to an after party to I think it's a club or whatever. And then after the club, they allegedly went to a hotel room, and he allegedly was giving her alcoholic beverages. Um, then this article states that Brother Polight, which is the Nowak, because allegedly the man name is Michael Nowak. I did see an interview that he did where he said his name was Michael, but he didn't say his last name. So I don't know if the man name is Michael Nowak or not. That's what the people say, and I heard him say his name was Michael. I have not. I don't know his last name for a fact, because people who know different things, like know laws and different things like he know, ain't no telling what that man name is. Like if you know anything about consumer law and all this different type of stuff, who knows? So you can see right here on the screen, they basically saying that he was allegedly touching on the victim inappropriately. He was allegedly touching on the victim inappropriately, and um he did. He allegedly, pulled out his private area and all kinds of things, right? And you can see it on the screen. I'll leave it up here for you can, kind of read it to yourself a little bit, because this is just, if this is what actually happened, it's so disgusting, and it is so common um, with women and men, and little girls and little boys. This is like one of these things that I don't know about all the other communities, but in the quote unquote black community, I know that a lot of people sweep these things under the rug. I was just having a conversation with one of my friends about this. Like, what happened in the 60s, 70s, 80s, like in those generations to where it was okay to sweep these things under the rug? Like, if a female say, oh, a pastor did this, and I'm going to just leave this on the screen while I talk a little bit so y'all can look at it for yourself. Um, if a little girl say a pastor did this, or your uncle did this, or a family friend did this, or a little boy say it, it's like, oh, they didn't do it, no, you just fast, etc. So I'm like, what happened to where they were okay with it, with not believing their child? I can't say. It seems like now people are no longer afraid to speak up and speak out when situations like this happen. So I am happy that that type of mindset is slowly going away. Like, I'm all here for everybody speaking up and speaking out, but that sweeping it under the rug and trying to act like ain't nothing ever happened and all these people just so great, I'm glad that's over with. Hopefully. So yeah, at the hotel room, as you can see on the screen, the mom was thinking like something happened, so she took her daughter to the hospital. They allegedly did some rape kits or forensic kits or DNA kits, whatever you want to call it, to see if he was a match, and he was arrested because they said that allegedly his semen was on her clothing and all these different things. At the end of this article, it said his bond was denied. So as you can see, that was false, because he's obviously not in jail, because he done been on live and everything else. So I don't know, maybe they need to update this article or whatever. So yeah, that's basically what happened. He was basically accused of allegedly molesting a 14-year-old girl, and you see all the details in the article. Somebody had a screenshot of looking him up and finding that he was charged. If that's his name, he was allegedly charged with you can see it on the screen. But the thing is, I heard people on Clubhouse talking about he was never charged, he was never this. That is a lie. And I'm like, clearly he was charged with something. That don't mean he's guilty, but they found something. And because I heard people saying that he was never arrested, he turned himself in. He willingly did all these things, but clearly something happened. And after all this came out, I went to his Instagram to see what was going on. Right here, as you can see, somebody said, did this man stage his own arrest? And he just said, y'all stay positive and get the knowledge with laughing emojis. I think the person who wrote, did this man stage his own arrest, I don't know if Brother Polight put them laughing emojis up there with the quiet emoji, or the person who wrote it did. But either way it goes, seemed like he ain't really bothered by it. He did go live, and this is some of the things he had to say.
Get said about you bad, the turnaround is, oh, you're going to go viral. So you work hard and you build up your community, but nobody wants to report that or propagate it or upload anything. But you build momentum, and then you find out how much people actually know you. You actually find out how much people freaking know you when the shit starts going down negative. That's wild. So I'm like, wow, okay, I'm nationwide. So in every step of my life, the evolution is real, but like I said, again, so I can reference this video and I can direct people to it. Yo, fam, it's not in my best interest to be speaking about anything in particular, because that's just not the way this thing works. You let people do what they do. You do what you do. You let the professionals do what they do. And you let time tell. That's what we got to do. You let time tell. You know what I'm saying? Like, what you want a person to say. You let time tell. And when time tells, all the people talking crazy, guess what happens? They just go back in their world. No one's going to hold them accountable. Some people we going to hold accountable, goddammit. Because shit that people saying, I'm like, damn. I'm about to start tuning in today's shit to find out about the situation. Because apparently they know more than I freaking know.
So, he did say a little bit more.
All you got to do is say something extremely bad about somebody, and that's all people need to take it and run with it. There's some things that if someone says something bad about you, automatically it just make you like this. You got to look at them a certain way because the shit is so egregious. So I get it. It's part of the game. It's part of the game. Sometimes someone can say something so vile, disgusting, and negative about you. It's going to make most people turn around like, damn, why would someone even say that about that person? It must be right. That's how this thing goes on planet Earth. Everybody understands that. So I totally get it. Shout out to everybody that just wants the right thing to take place. I'm down with all of that. I'm down for all of that. But again, you ain't going to hear me speaking about nothing. Not, at least not at this present point in time, not in this hour. And that's for the reason that I said before. That's for the aforementioned reasons. that I put forth. It's just not in my best interest, and I would be undermining people that are supposed to be working for me in my best interest. So it is what it is. Yeah, you chalk it up. You gotta chalk it up. It's just it's part of what it is. It's part of being popular. It's part of all of that. I'm talking in response to some people's comments. It's part of being popular. It comes with popularity. You know, when someone says something bad about you, it has the potential to grow faster than the things that you do good. That's just the way it is. And if someone
So he basically said that he's not going to get on the internet and directly address the allegations that's made towards him, which is smart. I know a lot of people is like, well, the first thing I do is get on the internet and say I ain't guilty, da 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 da. That don't, just because you get on the internet right away and be like, I didn't do it, that doesn't mean that the world is going to believe you. It doesn't matter what you say, because people are always is going to have their own opinion anyway. So whether or not he was to say, I didn't do it, I did do it, whatever it is, people going to have their own opinion. So, you know, and I do agree with that part of what he was talking about, of how, you know, people basically going to have their own opinion. They're going to say that, like, it just depends. Like, if the world say you guilty, then the internet will find somebody guilty before they know anything. So that's all he basically had to say. He did say it with people talking about counseling him. He did speak on that aspect.
The whole concept of canceling, I gotta understand what you people mean by that, because I truly work for myself. You can't stop my movement. And yo, we turning up tonight anyway. Hey Rick, is we turning up tonight? We outside. Huh? Hey, we outside. We turning up tonight. You heard? The program don't change. I'm still going to keep teaching and sharing my information. That's what this was about. This was not about talking about any allegations. This was about doing what I do. This is Rolls Royce Diaries. This is how we always do Rolls Royce Diaries.
So he seems to, I'm not gonna say be unbothered, but I guess he's not letting it get to him or whatever. And one thing I can say about the cancel culture aspect, people do be temporarily mad, and sometimes they be canceling folks without even knowing, what actually happened. Like T.I., I remember when YK Osiris had got canceled for allegedly beating up his girlfriend, and come to find out all the charges was dropped, and et cetera, et cetera. That don't mean that he didn't do it, but you can't say he did it because he wasn't found guilty. I don't think there's video proof of him doing anything. It's like people will hear a story from whatever source it is and just run with it without having facts. And that's the thing that's dangerous in this time. Like, you can say anything about anybody and people will just go and say, yeah, it's true. Like, no actual evidence. Like T.I. and Tiny, them people been getting on the internet saying they did something to them for months, and it's like every time it died down, somebody else will come back out and she'll say, oh, it's another woman, oh, it's 10 women, it's 15 women. Like, nobody's seen none of those women. Nobody like actually know if these women said anything, if this is really true or these women made up. They just went with the headline, and as you can see, T.I. and Tiny still going about their business. There is no official evidence that has been leaked or dropped other than he say, she say. Like, I know T.I. lost a lot of endorsements and things. Like, I think he got put out of one of the Marvel movie roles and all of that because of the allegations. But there is no proof, and that's the dangerous thing. Like, the people on the internet will find somebody guilty just by reading a headline and not even waiting for official evidence to come out. It's like, I don't know. And I'm not by no means saying that Polight is innocent or guilty. I'm not even a huge follower of him. I just know that he, one of them people who sound like he know what he talking about. And a lot of people kind of envy him because he got multiple quote unquote wives, but in America, that's not legal, so you can just say multiple women. And I know people envy that lifestyle. I think that's why people follow him, because of his knowledge and because of his lifestyle. And I think a lot of dudes want to have multiple women like that, because they be like, oh, they listen to you, they're submissive to you, they follow you, whatever. Like, whatever. So, but I'm just saying that people need to be more careful about saying somebody is guilty before you know the actual, like, before you see the actual proof. I mean, look at the Bill Cosby situation. YK Osiris, T.I., and Tiny. Like, the list goes on. Look what they did to Michael Jackson. Like, Tory Lanez. People drag that man to filth, and there's still no evidence that he actually did anything to Meg Thee Stallion. All it is he say, she say. But because the other person is, more favorable, like, oh, I like Meg Thee Stallion more, and yeah, Tory did it because I like Megan, there still have not been one piece of evidence leaked or shown that he did anything. Not one piece. That's why the man making his comeback right now. But his whole life was ruined for a moment because of what somebody else said. It was never even no proof that she even got shot. But the internet didn't want to hear that. They just wanted to say that he guilty. And to this day, they still been comments saying, you shot her, you did. It's like, how you know? We wasn't there. There was no footage. There is no evidence. But anyway, so now also people is dragging Sonetta from Sonetta TV. This is what he looked like, because they're saying that he knew that this was taking place back in the day, and he basically didn't say anything. But before I even play what he said and then his stance on today's case, the only thing a person can do other than like addressing that person on it is standing away from them, like putting it out there that they are this kind of way, and stay away from them. But he can't control what another person do. He can't, he can't be like, oh, he like, I don't know. I don't know exactly what people want Sonetta to do, other than stand, like, for me, I would say stand on what you know, and stand on the principles of what it is. But once I play these videos, you can see he claimed that he made a mistake of what he said earlier. So this is what Sonetta had to say a few years ago about Brother Polight.
I knew her before you, Polight. You ain't talking about her, right? The one you call Renentet? You ain't calling her your daughter, are you? Don't do it. Don't make me fucking do it, nigga. Huh? Little Dr. York, don't make me do it, nigga. Little fucking Dr. York. You ain't talking about her, right? The one that you call Renentet. Huh? Nigga, that ain't your daughter, nigga. Cut it out. Don't make me bring her sister right here in front of me. Her sister is my wife's cousin. Ain't nobody in this world is more grimier, low-life, scumbag as you. You done robbed from little babies, motherfucker. You done robbed from women and children, nigga.
So that's what Sonetta had to say about Brother Polight a few years back. And he also alleged that I think he molested a child or something, allegedly. But I think that was the part of the video that they keep talking about that he actually removed out. And I know Brother Polight actually did a video, like, I saw the clip of it on YouTube about saying how, oh, now you want to take that part of the video out, but people already seen it and people already accusing me of something I didn't do. So I don't know if he sent his lawyers on him after that, and that's why he removed that part out of his video, because now with this situation that came out, he got a whole different energy, and this is what he got to say now.
Related to the woman who had the daughter who ran away. So people just looking at it like, damn, right. So you already had suspicion.
And guess what, though?
He was moving
well,
like
let me
that.
tell you. Let me tell you what happened, brother. Hold on. Let me tell you what happened. When your brother Sonetta came out, everybody came at Sonetta. They started telling me that Sonetta jealous of Polight, They started making videos. I got a video that's already locked and loaded. You got one with Perry talking about how Polight smashed me and how Polight killed me and how Polight destroyed me. I'm not on the level of Polight. All them niggas started saying that. And so what do Sarnetta do? Sarnetta take a seat back and say, okay, the people don't want this. I see what's going on. I'm not going to do that.
Yeah,
I learned a lesson. I did that before. I made a mistake. I'm not doing that shit again. You learn from your mistakes.
So people was basically calling in to the Sarnetta TV show and asking him, why are you not speaking on Brother Polight? Basically saying, why are you not calling him an alleged rapist or an alleged molester or whatever you want to say. And he's basically saying, hey, I learned my lesson the last time. I spoke out before I actually knew the facts, and I'm not going to do that again. And people don't like the fact that he's saying that he's not going to address, speak out or condemn him. Ooh, excuse me. He's not going to condemn him before actually knowing the facts. And I agree with what Sarnetta is saying about not going out and just jumping off the bandwagon and saying, no, you this, you that, because really nobody really knows. And I'm going to get into a little bit more about that article that shows that has the evidence, the alleged evidence in it, word from word, written out. I'm going to get into that at the end. But before I get to that, let's hear about how, because people was basically saying Brother Polight wives he was messing with at a young age. Now, the first wife, I think they grew up together. Like, they've been knowing each other since they was like 12 or 13. I heard him say that in an interview. But one of the wives, this is what she had to say about when she met Brother Polight.
I started coming, I was really young, so I actually looked.
How old were you at the time?
I was like 17.
Oh, okay.
I was 16, 17. My mother used to go to the bookstore. And so I seen them two together. And
So one of the wives said that she used to see Brother Polight in the bookstore that they owned. And that's what they said. They, they approached her about, joining their, I guess what you call them, a sister wife or whatever. And now she said she used to see them around 16 or 17 years old because her mother used to always go to the bookstore that they owned, and she used to go with her. Now, that doesn't mean that's when they start messing around. I know people are circulating this clip because this is one of the clips that young Pharaoh used when he was going at Brother Polight back when they was getting into it. But I cannot say for a fact that Brother Polight started messing with her when she was 16 or 17. She said that's when she met them because she used to go in the bookstore all the time. So that could mean she was in the bookstore. She started going to the bookstore around 16, 17. And, maybe at 18, 19, 20, I don't know how old she is now. I would have had to do the math on that. I don't know. But, they could have approached her when she turned 18, 19. Who knows? But the way she was kind of stuttering in the clip, that made people assume that he started messing with her when she was underage. But if that's what happened, that's what happened. Because back in the 60s and 70s, it seemed like this age thing only became a problem now. Because if you look at your old, grandparents, great-grandparents' marriage certificates and stuff, and kids, they was moving out at 15 years old. Some of them would be married to 20-some-year-olds at 15. I'm not saying that's right. I'm just saying that this stuff seemed to be very common back in the 60s, 70s, and even before then. Because when I did my genealogy and I was looking up, some of my ancestors, and looking at other people, other names that I would see on there, a lot of them was moved out the house at 14, 15 and married at 14 and 15 to older men. So I'm not saying what they did was right. I'm just saying that I see now that this have just now started to become, a big deal. Like, why y'all older people messing with these young men? And these young women are young men. And that goes back even when the older females be coming after the young boys. That goes back to what I said. What was going on back in that time period to where the older men or women was messing with the young girl boy? I just don't understand that. I don't understand how are y'all even related. Like what? But anyway, that was her basically saying that she met him when she was 16 or 17. She didn't say that's when they started messing around. She just said that's when they met. So that I'm going to just leave it at that. Well, a clip I did find interesting is Brother Polight speaking on if he knew about somebody he followed or looked up to been a molester, this is what he would do.
Let's say he molested 1,000 children. Factually.
Okay.
Genetic evidence and everything. Things that we don't deny. Scientifically, we say, wow, okay, true. If someone was to ask me, would you still worship him as your Most High, acknowledge him as your Most High God? I would have to.
Yeah, I thought that was weird. Like, you still want to worship somebody. First of all, worshiping it within itself. Well, you know what? Let me not get to that. But you still gonna look up to somebody who he said molested over 1,000 kids. Like, you still think it's okay to follow behind that person? To me, I think that's a little weird because that is the situation that he's currently in. Like, if, like, say for instance, if he is found guilty, I guess he can say the people still need to follow his teachings and follow what he's saying, even know that it's like do as I say, not as I do type of thing. And I can say some of the things that he speak on, you know, I do agree with when it comes to his intellect, when it comes to the thing, you know, the working for self, the and that's another thing I was gonna say about counsel culture. You can't counsel nobody who work for themselves. You can't make, I mean, I guess you can in a way if they're selling a product and you say I'm no longer buying that product. But if you have mastered the way, you know, what money really is, because if you really know anything about money, you know that fiat stuff is not even real. A lot of people maneuver around, especially him, probably as like some people move around as sovereign people, just off the grid, and they know how to work the system. Because if you know anything about the U.S. system, you know it's all about business. And once you learn about that business and consumer law, you can do some amazing things. So, you know, some people, like, you can cancel them on the internet all you want, but that don't mean you're going to affect their pockets. And because of what he know, his knowledge, he may be one of them people that you can cancel him, you can not like him, but that don't mean he's going to be broke. And I don't know what the goal of cancel culture is. I don't know if the goal is to be like, we're not going to speak on them no more, or y'all be trying to make them go broke by canceling them and making sure they don't work no more. Like, I don't know what the goal is, because it's not really consistent. It's people only get canceled if they're not liked, because all that stuff that happened with Nicki Minaj and all of that, she was never canceled. So, who knows? And lastly on this situation, what I want to talk about is people saying that they have not seen any evidence that's like the source of where the information came from wasn't a credible source. And like I say, the first person I seen with this information was Unwind with Tasha K, Tasha K from Unwind with Tasha K, however you want to say it. I think it's kind of off a little bit how if this story would have dropped on TMZ, nobody would have questioned the credibility of the article. You know, like, I don't know, I don't really watch Tasha K or whatever, so I don't know if she have a history of presenting information that's not credible or not. But it's the fact that she was the only one that had this information that I know of. And when everybody is trying to downplay her, you know, I think she have over 1 million subscribers. So somebody listening to her. So I'm trying to figure out why people think that her sources are not credible. But when the story come on TMZ, you know, or the Shade Room, people never question how credible the sources really are. And a lot of the stories they have put out have not even been accurate or credible, and come out that it be the complete opposite on a lot of their stories. So I'm trying to figure out why is it such a big deal that, it came from her, so it must not be credible. I did see a lot of that, and I didn't necessarily agree with the way they was trying to say it. Now, if you would say that I need to see an actual official police report before I believe what is going on, then I can see that. Like if people saying I'm not gonna form an opinion until I see official documents and not just listening to somebody saying that these are official documents. I can understand that, but it seemed like people were just trying to discredit her platform because maybe they don't like her or whatever. But when it's TMZ, nobody really wait and say, let me see the police report. They just go with the headline and go with the story. And so this is the article where people got all their detailed information from, which is what I showed at the beginning of this video. I'm not for sure where this journalist got her information from. She didn't credit Tasha K in her article, so I don't know if she is the source or she knows the source or what, because she said exactly what's in her article was the same thing that Tasha K said on her show, even down to the TS and all of that. So I don't know if where her information came from. I couldn't even figure out who owned this hiphopun.com website. So I don't know who owned it. I don't even know if it's black owned. I do know they don't have a lot of followers on Instagram. I think it's only like 5,000 followers. So I don't think it's a big news platform, which it really don't matter. News is news. Information is information. It's just the fact that I don't know where their information came from. I'm not sure. So I can understand people saying, just because somebody say I'm not going to shame or accuse Brother Polight of doing something because I don't know the facts. They don't know the facts. That information that people was reading about from the detail to detail, that just came from another article. It didn't come from an official police report. Now people saying that it was official, but maybe it's not released yet. So maybe people want to wait until the information is released. But I don't know how they got all of this information about the DNA. I don't know how people know all of that. Like, I don't know who leaked it, who told. Tasha K said her sources came from inside of the facility. So I guess until all of that come out officially, then people are holding back their opinion. That's something that I would do. I'm not going to say the man is guilty. I'm not going to say the man is innocent because I don't know. All I know is what the article said, but I do that with everybody until I see, what actually happened. Unless it's somebody like that I know, like unless it's my little cousin or somebody say that somebody did something to him, then I'm going all in. But if these are a lot of times these people in the famous people be doing stuff for publicity. They do stuff for out of just everything. Like I've seen it all when it comes to them. So I don't form an opinion. I don't say what these people did unless they say they did it or unless the evidence say that they did it. So I'm not saying the little girl made up the story. They said the little girl spoke out. I don't even know who the little girl is. I've never heard her. They said the mom spoke out. I haven't seen those videos either. So I'm just leave it like this. We're going to wait and see. I would say wait and see until everything officially comes out. Not to say that what Tasha K said is not credible, but it's you just never know. You never know. So I'm just going to leave it at that. And we're going to just let it play out. And that's all I got to say about it. Have a good day. I'm out.